2025 is nearly over. We don't have many weeks left in the year, and you want to try and break your 10-kilometer PB. So you've got to give it a go. Or maybe you're going to target it as next year. On your New Year's resolution is I want to run a 10k PB. Don't worry, this video is for you. A few years ago, I never used to be able to run 10k. It would have been a dream of mine to be able to even do it. And I did my local village 10k, and it took me nearly an hour to get round. I think it actually took me an hour. And then a few years, I focused on my running, focused on running half marathons, doing even a marathon, and managed to get my 10k time down to now I run it in the 38 minutes. So this advice isn't coming from anywhere professional, but from being on one end of the spectrum to running them in an hour to now being in the 38 minutes. I feel like that 20-minute time frame gives me some sort of area where I can share some advice. And if you're within that time frame, or perhaps you just want to get a bit better at running and run a 10k PB, this video is for you. I'm going to show you everything that I've learned. I mentioned most of my 10k PBs have come from when I've been training for something that's a little bit longer in distance, such as half marathon. You don't have to sign up to it, but marathon. If you can get your body used to running a bit longer than 10 kilometers, by the time it comes to running the 10 kilometers, I feel like there's some science or some relief in that only being 10k, if that makes sense. Normally, the way I plan my year out is I will do a half marathon in April or May, and I'll normally do a 10k straight after. And by the time I get to that 10k, it's half the distance of a half marathon. It was less than half. So it's over quicker and it feels a bit nicer. Also, if you're into your running and you currently do the 5Ks, I definitely recommend trying to step up to the 10K. I think the 10K is maybe my favorite distance to race. It's not as eyeballs out and burning as long as a 5K, but it's also not as long of a slog as a half marathon. 10Ks are the great middle ground in between. I think everybody should race a 10K, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Big bit of advice, as I mentioned, training for your half marathon may help you run a 10k. You don't need to sign up to a half marathon, but if you can get used to running longer than 10k in training, that is going to help. However, point number 2 is going to caveat some things that I'm going to say later and be slightly controversial, so you're going to have to hear me out. But it's the same old thing in running. There are no secret workouts. 10k is great. The quickest way you can get your 10-kilometer time down isn't by doing one session a week if you only run twice a week. The best way you can get your 10k time down is if you can run 4 times a week and make those runs steady, progressive, and just feel comfortable. The more runs and more volume you get in running a week, you will become a better runner. You don't need to do all these magical sessions, 15 by a K, 12 by a K, whatever it is. Obviously those sessions are going to help when you want to get a bit quicker, and I do them now because I'm at that level of wanting to improve and that's the speed I need to run at. But if I wanted to go from an hour down to 50 minutes in the 10k, I would just run a little bit more. You can do the sessions, but there is no secret workout, and I hope you understand this, that by doing one workout 3 times when you only run twice a week isn't going to improve your running that much, if that makes sense. You're better off stacking days, stacking weeks of training and habits and getting better over time than you are trying to do quick workouts for quick wins, if that makes sense. Hopefully that clears that up. Number 3, another bit of advice. Invest in some kit. Now, you don't need carbons, but I recently ran my 10k in the Asics Mid-to-Speed Sky Tokyos, I believe these are called. These are an unbelievable pair of shoes. If you'd have seen my other videos, you know that I love the Nike Vaporfly 3, I think is what I run in. They're amazing, great shoe. You still use them for training, saving these for race day, but invest in some kit. Get a decent pair of shoes. You're going to harm yourself if you're running in 80 quid shoes that you get in JD in a sale. That's not a proper running shoe. You need to get a proper running shoe so you can stick to your training. Things are going to hold up. You're not going to get injured. You're going to do more harm to yourself running in a cheaper pair of shoes than you are a more expensive pair. Obviously, carbons aren't for everyone. They're not going to be the be all and end all, but they do make a bit of a difference. Invest in them if you want, but caveat, get a comfortable pair of shoes, something that you're going to want to train in. Looks good, feels good. If you look good, you feel good on race day. There's no shame in it. I think people like to play the down card, oh, you know, if you get carbons, what are you doing with your money? Like, well, if you invest in your kit, what are you doing? But if you're into your running and you want to look good on race day, look good, feel good, it's a real study, it's a real thing. So yeah, don't be shy, invest in some kit, it's worth your money. Caveat, I mentioned this in my 5k, enjoy it. So many people get into running and they do it because they see it on social media, or they see so many people at work signing up, so you think, oh, I better do that. And they want to see what the fuss is about. If you're not running because you actually enjoy it, what are you doing? And don't get me wrong, there are some days where I go out and I think, oh, I don't want to run today. But that's just on a day when I've got no one cheering me on, no friends and family around, no support, no drink to go and have in a pub afterwards, or anyone to celebrate with when I cross the line. It's just a run on an average Thursday evening, whatever. But actually get into it and enjoy it. Once you're on the start line, the adrenaline, the endorphins that you feel once you finish is up. Amazing. get into running because you enjoy it. Run 10Ks because you enjoy them. It's the most number one thing that is going to keep you in the longevity of this sport, is if you keep doing things because you enjoy it. If you don't like running, you don't have to do it. There's so many other sports out there that you can go and do. It's like if I didn't enjoy golf, I played golf, but I enjoy golf, so I keep playing. If I didn't enjoy it so much, I wouldn't play. Like, you don't have to keep going, it's fine. But do run and race because you enjoy it. That will keep you in the game. That will make you want to keep training and sign up to it because you enjoy it. But if you can't try something, you just can't enjoy something that you've never tried. So if you've never ran a 10K before, I would encourage you, sign up to one, maybe train for 6 to 8 weeks, see how you feel, give it a go. Next tip, when you're training, make sure you recover, especially for the 10K. You need to be having a few days off in between training if you need it. Listen to your body. I used to be so bad for this back in the day. I went from not training very much to probably going completely the other way, overtraining. I used to run not every day, but maybe 5 to 6 times a week, and my body would feel knackered on some of these runs. My heart rate would be through the roof on an easy run. I was breathing heavy. It felt heavy to pick my legs up. You don't want to feel like this when you're training. Take a day off. Don't be afraid to rest. I used to think rest was the enemy. In your Strava graph, if there was any discrepancy in that and it wasn't just a flat line, I used to get really annoyed. I still am a little bit like that. But when I was training for my 10K, I want it as flat and steady as possible. Any discrepancy in the mileage dropped, or if I felt unwell, I'd be inclined to go and run. I think, oh no, I can't be unwell. I've got to run. I've got to get the training in. Listen to your body. Take the time to recover. You're going to feel so much better if you have a day of rest and then run the next day, or even 2 days off if your legs feel achy. You might have other things going on in your life as well. It's not all about running. So prioritize other things, sort your recovery out, and then you'll come back better, stronger, faster, ready to get PB. Finally, I'm going to be very controversial to the other part of the video, but I'm going to leave some decent workouts that I've done for my 10K PB that I find once you get past that barrier of this really hurts and I want some good workouts to do. These are some decent workouts you can stack in your training. And I know I mentioned you need to just run more, but when you get to the point of wanting to implement workouts into your already established structure, this is where you need to put them in. Here are some workouts that I really enjoyed. The workout I really enjoyed was 7 to 8 by K at 10km effort. Now, most of these workouts I'm going to say you want to do at effort. At pace is really hard to understand and hold for 10K. My 10K pace I ran was 3:51 per K. I could not hold that at interval sessions. If I was to go to the track and try and run 8 by K, I couldn't do it. The adrenaline, buzz of the day, chasing someone in your sights, carving up the night before, a good night's sleep, all of these things you don't really have the day before. So it's unrealistic to expect you to do that in training. So run to effort. That is the number one thing with all these sessions. So 7 to 8 by K at 10K effort, maybe 60 seconds rest is a really good session to do. Also really enjoy some 800s. So maybe it be 10 800s. Is another good session to do. 60-second rest recovery, 80-second rest recovery, whatever you want, stack the recovery, and run these at 10K effort. There's a couple of really good sessions that I enjoy. Also, another good one that I like to do is 2K repeats. So you might want to do 3 by 2K or 4 by 2K is a little bit of a juicier session, but 3 by 2K is quite a nice one. 6K of volume at 10K effort. And then stack these in with some longer easy runs. If you want to do an easy run that takes you up to about 15 kilometers, perfect. Crossing over the 10K barrier, even 12 is fine. If you can run 7 miles, you can run 10K pretty steady. A lot of the quick guys like to stack the longer runs, so the 10K feels a bit easier and a bit faster. So implement that in your training and you'll be sweet. Via 10km race tips, how you can get a bit faster at 10K. These are all the tips that I've learned and I've used over the last few years. So I managed to run a 38:43, I think, around Dorney Lake 10K on Sunday, just gone. So feeling good about that. My fitness is in a good place, and as I said, I used to be one of these guys at running in an hour, and I never dreamt of running under 40 minutes. It is crazy. So if I can do it, I wholeheartedly believe this. If I can do it, you can do it. Look back at my Strava times if you're interested, and you'll see where I've come from with my running journey. So yeah, wholeheartedly, the amount of work you want to put in and the amount of dedication and seriousness that you want to commit to this, you're going to get the rewards from it. That's all I can say. So yeah. And get into it because you love it. That is the number one thing too. So yeah, 10K. I'm going to put this into practice with a 5K at Battersea on Wednesday the 26th. Today it is Friday the 21st, the morning of. So yeah, and I'm also a week and a half out from Valencia Marathon. So see if I can turn these 10K tips for 4 rounds in a marathon. So yeah, stick around. I'm going to document these runs, races, see how they go. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you get your 10K PB. Let me know. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Read all the comments. I'll get back to all of them. Let me know what your 10K PB is and if this video found any value in the video. So thank you very much for watching. Take care, stay active, stay healthy. All the best. I'll see you soon.